What's going on, guys? Welcome to Story Time Slots, and in this video we're going to talk about how to up your chances of winning in one of these slot machines like Dragon Link, Lightning Link, Dragon Cash, and a lot of these slot machines on the casino floor. I'm going to be referencing Dragon Link because that's the machine that we all love to play, the most popular machine, and I have a lot of experience on these type machines. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I do, my thought process, and how I bet to up my chances of winning something. And it has a lot to do with what you bet. And what you bet, there is these buttons, okay, in front of you. They're called multipliers. Okay, for example, you got the denom, right? On the low-level Dragon Link machine, it's 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, $1, and $2, right? For example, you got the penny denom. There's 5 buttons, 5 multipliers. The first button is 50 cents. The second one is $1, $1.50. The fourth button is $2.50. And the max bet button is $5. Okay, the multiplier buttons. All right, now, and dollar denom, you got $5, $10, $15, $25, and $50. The first rule of thumb, well, this is how I like to play things, and this is what I've observed playing these for years, okay? I normally do not minimum bet, okay? I normally do not play the button all the way to the left, which is minimum bet. You hardly see these big minors come up. You hardly see minis and, majors. I've hit a lot of my majors betting up in that scale, Usually I like to bet the 2 times multiplier or the 3 times multiplier, depending on how much I want to play. Now, I'll just say this right now, okay? Every casino is different, right? Every casino has their own RTPs and the percentages. I'm not too sure what your local casinos have, but the scale of success is different everywhere. All right. So, and also this hitting something, you might hit something on minimum bet. I'm not saying you're not going to hit anything, but the chances of you hitting something is higher if you bet a little higher on the multiplier scale, not betting minimum. I've seen minors and majors come up more often when I play 2 times multiplier, 3 times multiplier, max bet multiplier. But you might be thinking, hey, Vahagan, I can't afford to play max bet. What should I do? Now, first of all, only bet what you can afford, right? I'm not saying go balls out on these things and bet max bet all the time. That'd be nice because you see the big orbs, you see the big minors coming up, you see a lot of majors flashing. You might hit something on the minimum, and I've hit a lot on the minimum. I've hit a lot of minors on the minimum. For example, betting dollar denom and a low-level Dragon Link, minimum is $5 on a dollar denom. I've hit minors on that. I've hit a major on that. But chances are you'll be hitting more if you go up a little bit, 2 times multiplier, the second button over. So let's say you want to bet $1, okay, but you like the 2 cent denom and you want to bet $1. So a lot of people, if they play the 2 cent denom, they play the last button on the left. The minimum bet on 2 cent is $1. My suggestion, try this next time you're over there. Go 1 cent denom instead of 2 cent denom. Bet that same $1 that you're betting, right? But go 2 times multiplier on the pennies. You'll find better success doing that versus playing the minimum on 2 cent, $1. I'd rather play $1, 1 cent because I'm going up in the scale, okay? Your chances increase of you hitting something if you go up in the scale. Same theory, if you're doing, let's say, $1, you're doing $5 minimum bets all the time, right? And that's all you can play, and that's what you feel comfortable with. I'd rather do 10 cent denom, $5. Or even better, I'd rather do 5 cent denom, $5. Or $7.50, whatever the case may be, right? So I'd rather play at a higher scale and a lower denom than a higher denom on a lower scale. Does that make sense? No minimum bets. I try to stay away from minimum bets. So that's my advice, guys. Try to bet on a higher scale. Now, I know this question comes up all the time with people. Should I bet $5 $1. Should I bet $1 denom betting minimum $5 spins, or should I go 1 cent denom bet max $5? That's you have a higher minor. Obviously, if you hit a minor on the dollar minimum bet, who doesn't love the $1,250, right? $1,250 250x minor on the dollar denom. Better yet, the $2 $2,500 denom, which I've hit betting minimum. By the way, I've hit betting minimum, the 2,500 minor betting minimum. I think it happened twice. But you have a better chance, and you have a chance of hitting double minors. Have you ever hit double minors? Leave it in the comments. Have you ever hit? Okay, this is a question for all you guys out there watching this video on Dragon Link players. Have you hit double or triple minors betting minimum? I've never done that. I've never hit double minor at all, actually. But let me know in the comments if you actually hit double minors. I've seen this happen with other slot channels where they actually hit double and triple minors. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. Have you ever hit the trifecta? 1 major, 1 minor, 1 mini. That's magic. Especially if you're playing the high limit room, right? That's a dream. That's a slot player's dream to hit the trifecta. How about all 4? The grand, the major, the minor, and the mini. Have you ever done that, guys? That's a good question for you guys. Have you ever hit all 4 jackpots? I've never, but I've hit doubles. I've hit minor, I've hit minis. Who doesn't love the mini party, right? You have all these minis. Can you imagine getting all the mini, instead of all the minis you get betting max on a machine? Mini, 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 mini. I've had like 6, 7, 8 minis in one screen. But can you imagine all those minis being minors? Never even hit a double. Have you ever hit a double? Leave it in the comments. But yeah, simple, guys. If you're going to bet $1 and if you're comfortable betting $1, I'd rather you play this 1 cent denom betting $1 than the 2 cent denom betting $1. If you're comfortable betting $2.50, I'd rather you hit the 5 cent denom betting 1 over the 2 times multiplier than you paying 10 cent denom minimum bet at $2.50. It makes sense, right, guys? Because like I said, from my experience in playing this game for years, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, guys. Like, I'm not trying to tell you this, but in my observation, you have better chances of getting those minors, of landing those minors than landing those minors on a minimum bet. It has happened, but it has happened more often for me when I'm betting up in the scale. Now, keep in mind, when you're betting higher in the multiplier scale, chances are that you're going to lose money a lot faster. So just be mindful of this. Gamble responsibly, of course, guys. Like, that's the most important thing here, guys. Know your budget, know where you're at all the time. And, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you can go and bet max and you don't hit anything. And don't get fooled with these machines showing you 5 orbs or 2 scatters. It's just a tactic of the game. They're trying to get you excited, So be mindful of this. Always. All right, guys, try to bet a little higher on the scale because you get bigger orbs. You get chances of hitting more minors. I've hit more minors and majors betting up on the multiplier scale than betting minimum. And that's obvious, right? So just a little tip for you guys. Keep in mind one more thing I want to tell you guys. Spins are random. It's a number generator in there that's constantly working. So one person's result might differ from another person's result. You might hit a grand betting minimum. And I've seen guys hit majors even betting 50 cents. But I've hit a lot more majors betting $2.50 bet on a 1 penny denom. That's the 4th button over. Okay. I think that's the times 2, times 3, times 5 multiplier, I think. Yeah. So I've hit a lot of majors betting in that middle scale than betting all the way to the left. I get this question asked all the time. Obviously, there's something to think about. The higher the denom, this is what gets people. That minor amount goes up the higher you bet on the denom. So that's the only downside to betting small is your minor is not going to be as big. A lot of people, they're drawn to that. they're drawn to that $2,500 minor. If you're playing high limit, the dollar denom is 5,000 minor. The $2 denom is 10,000 minor. Who doesn't love that, right, guys? Instead of a $500 minor on a minimum bet on 10-cent denom in the high limit room. And I'm not even talking about the high limit $1 million Dragon Link. That's where it really gets crazy, right, guys? $25 minimum bet. Now get this. Well, what about this, Vahagan? What if I'm playing a $25 minimum machine? $50 is way too expensive for me to bet. Here's a question for you guys. Would you rather play the $1 million machine betting minimum $25, or bet the medium Dragon League machine, bet $25 and betting $1 $25 bets? Well, the major's higher in the $1 million machine. So if you hit a major, you just hit a minimum $25,000 major. Never hit one of those. Lady Luck, she's famous for that, hitting those majors. She has a lot of luck with that, but I haven't hit a $25K and above major. I've seen it done in front of me. The guy next to me once hit a $48,000 major in front of me, betting $100 spin on $2 denom, which is, hey, remember what I said? 2 times multiplier on the $2 denom. It was $1 million machine, $2 denom, which is 1 over, and 2 times multiplier. $50 is the minimum bet you could do on $2 denom. 100 is the 2x. So I've seen it done, but I haven't done it yet. Keep in mind that it's something that you need to balance. Now, I bet $25 sometimes, and sometimes I find myself betting minimum on the dollar, because to bet $25 and having that high minor, $5,000 minor, you need to bet minimum on the dollar or go over to $50. $50 spins is a little too expensive. Do you mind dropping the minor, going 1 over to 50-cent denom, right? And betting $25 there. Try that, because $12.50 is the minimum bet on a 50-cent denom Dragon Link, and then 1 over 2 times multiplier is the $25 spin. So would you rather bet the $25 spin on 50 cents, or would you rather bet $25 spin on the $1 minimum bet? I'd rather do the 50-cent $25. Switch it up, guys. Switch it up. Bet a couple of spins minimum. Bet a couple of spins doing multipliers. Bet what you could afford, but I'd rather you bet on the scale a little higher to the right. And one more tip for you guys, and I'll end this video. I did a short on this. This thumb can get you sometimes. It has happened to me. It has happened to my friend, where some people slap the button. One time I was pressing the button. I had my thumb extended like this, and I was actually doing max bet. And I was like looking at my bankroll on the machine. I'm like, where the hell did the money go? Oh my God, I'm betting max bet. Be careful of your thumb, guys, because some of these Dragon Links and Lightning Links are digital buttons. The multipliers are digital, so you might accidentally hit it without knowing, especially if you've been drinking. A quick little funny story, okay? True story. My friend was betting dollar denom on a high limit machine, and he accidentally, like I said, had his thumb extended. The max bet on the dollar denom on Dragon Link is $250 a spin. Without knowing it, I'm looking at his bankroll and his machine, and without knowing it, I'm seeing, oh my God, you're betting $250. He goes, what the hell? What the hell? But then the spin already had happened. I'm like, watch out, watch out. The spin happened. He's playing Autumn Moon. He gets 3 moons, and we're excited. We're celebrating. We're high-fiving each other. I'm cheerleading him. It was so funny. And he never bets $250 a spin. The most he'll go is 50, 25. He's that kind of player. And he gets $250 spin, 3 moon bonus on Autumn Moon. And we're celebrating, high-fiving each other, hugging each other before the 6 spins actually spin. And what happens next is a bummer. Okay, he pretty much, to quote, again, Vegas Matt, because I love this quote, Sando, he gets a Sando sandwich. He gets crap on an accidental $250 spin. Yes, he got a hand pay. Obviously, it's not that hard to get a hand pay on a $250 spin. Some people don't actually. He got $1,700 hand pay from that. That spin, that bonus, that accident could have led to a $25,000 easy hand pay. How often does this happen? To do this on accident and to get a sando sandwich sucks. We were bummed out. We were like, oh man, it wasn't meant to be, but it was an accident. Can you imagine the story time slot story if he would have got like a $50,000 major or whatever? He would have got a $30,000 hand pay, or at least a $10,000 hand pay on a $250 spin, which is not hard to do. Don't let that influence you to go play 250 spins. Come on, guys. It's a lot of money. I'm not there, and obviously, like, who bets that except some of these influencers that can't afford it, and multimillionaires and billionaires. But like, that's a lot of money to spend, and to accidentally do that and get a crap bonus, it happens. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, guys. If you like content like this, we talk gaming, we talk slots, we talk gambling. We go out into the casinos. I show you the realities of gambling. If this is your first time here on Storytime Slots, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. There's awesome things coming on this channel. Hit that like button, and you know what? Hit that bell notification, because hey, you want to get notified when I upload new content? Hit that bell, because sometimes YouTube doesn't recommend videos. This will help you guys. Hit that bell, subscribe, share, comment, and like this video. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching Storytime Slots. And remember always, whatever I say here, this is entertainment. This is my observation. These are not like, okay, you do this and you're going to hit it. Do this and no, it's not like that. Okay. This is a game of chance. Results vary all the time. So I'm just telling you what I've observed. Treat this as entertainment. Gamble responsibly. Gamble what you can afford to lose. And go out there and rock and roll. This is Storytime Slots. I'm Vahagian. We'll see you on the next video. Yeah.